listening to the Path Breaking Podcast. My name is Antonio Castillo. I will be your host. This podcast features artists, entrepreneurs, and people who go out of their way to turn their passion into a career. Today, we're joined by professional boxer Sulaiman Segawa.
Yeah, my name's Sulaiman Segawa. I'm here on your podcast, to say whatever is going on with my life, my career, and boxing. That's all.
Yeah, man. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. First of all, thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're training. I
Yeah.
know you're working nonstop. And, I just appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah.
This is our first segment.
Yep.
So you are starting it off. You're basically setting the foundation for other people who come on this podcast.
That's
So
what's up,
thank you
man.
so much for being
And
here.
thank you, man, for inviting me, to your podcast. This means a lot to me, man. Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't get, good friends to invite you to do this kind of thing, but it is what it is.
It
We
is
gotta
what
do
it is,
man.
right, man?
Yeah,
Right. So how's everything going? I know that you have a fight coming up in a few weeks.
yeah.
Usually before a fight, I'm assuming it gets like really intense, right?
Yeah, it gets sometimes really intense when you don't know how to control. So it's more of a mind game,
Mhm.
Once you mature and once you stay, in the game for a longer time, you learn how, to control your nerves. You learn how to know that this is a game. It's like any other game, So
Right.
you just understand that I'm going in for a war, then I'll be out. That's all.
Do you get used to it like from the first time you did it, and then the more you do it, do you get a little bit more comfortable, or is it always the same?
No, it's like the more you keep on doing it, the more you get comfortable
Mhm.
and the more you get used to it. Yeah. So it's not always the first time. Always the first time, you're always nervous, you're scared. You're like, man, how am I gonna compete? How
Yeah.
am I gonna look like? But as time goes by, you understand that this is you. You just go there to perform.
When you I'm assuming at some point in time in your life when you were little,
Yeah.
you were you into fighting as a kid, or is it something how did you get into boxing?
When I was too young, so where I would go to play, so our playgrounds were always the gyms, because we had a gym nearby our house. So
Mhm.
whenever I would want to go play, we'd go to the gym, hit the bags. That's how I ended up getting into boxing.
So you just would go and just hit the
Go
bags
hit
and
the bags, play with the bags, play with the equipments in the ring, in the
Mhm.
gym. Then before you know, you
you
become a
just
boxer.
right. Was there somebody there that said, "Hey, you should practice more"? Or was somebody like a coach there that kind of
Yeah,
took
there
you
were
on?
coaches and there were people who were always pushing young kids. Whenever young kids come in
Mm.
gyms, they're like, "Hey, you gotta stay here. This is your place." So you feel more of a home, where
Right,
you've
right,
gone.
right.
So as
Yeah.
time goes by, you fall in love with it. So you like,
Right.
this is me.
So basically, it was you went there as just to have fun,
Have
hitting the
fun.
things, and then all of a sudden people said, "Hey, they kind of push you
Yeah,
to
they
say."
kind of push and
Right.
organize whatever you try to do in
Right,
the
right.
gym.
And
Yeah.
and then was there one point where when you first started hitting the bags, like other kids, I'm assuming you were with your friends,
Yeah,
where
we
you
had so many kids.
right,
in the
where
gym.
you just
Yeah.
realized that maybe I have something that is just
No,
natural
you
for
can't
me?
realize it, but whenever you with kids and you're in a gym, you end up saying that, hey man, I think I can beat you. I think so. You
Ah.
get that heart. That heart starts developing
Right.
within you. You start challenging each other.
Okay,
Hey, why don't
okay.
we start up something? Why don't we fight?
So it
Before you know-
becomes competitive.
there you go. You
Right.
become once you're still young because you want to compete with everybody.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
And that's normal. I think with kids, especially even in like my world of breaking,
Yeah.
they get to a point where they start learning, and now they want to challenge each other.
That's it.
It's
That's
just
yeah.
natural.
It's natural. It's just a natural
Right,
instinct.
right.
It just comes automatic.
Yeah,
It's like you don't want to challenge anybody, but it's just naturally
Mhm.
comes up.
Right.
And you're like, we gotta do this. Yeah.
So where exactly are you from? I know that you're based on what I saw, you're from Uganda.
Yeah, that's where. That's my home country. That's where I grew up. I was raised
Mhm.
and born. Yeah, I'm from Uganda, Kampala, Chisenyi. That's my city. That's
All
where I'm
right,
from.
man. And
Yeah.
you're far away. You're far away from
Far
home.
away from home. Yeah, but before coming here, I was in Europe, so I
Okay.
had to go to Netherlands.
Right.
I was there for a couple of 2 to 3 years. Then
Mhm.
I had to come here in the US.
And for boxing.
Yeah, I had gone there
Yeah.
for boxing, but
Okay.
they ended up wanting to switch me to kickboxing because it's a kickboxing country.
Oh, so
Yeah,
they
they have
wanted
a
you to
lot-
become a kickboxer.
Exactly, because they saw my boxing was good,
Mhm.
so they just made me put in some little
Right.
kicks. Then I started competing in kickboxing.
Wow. So you did kickboxing too?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
for 1
Yeah,
and
I
a
had
half
no
year.
idea. See, I
Yeah.
already learned something new. So
Yeah.
let's go back though. So you're a kid, you're hitting the bags, now you're getting a little more serious.
Yeah,
You're starting to challenge other kids. And then you get to a point where
you
what
have to go to
happens?
championships, where
Okay.
trainers have to take you to kids championships, where
Mhm.
kids face other kids from other gyms.
Right.
Then before you know, you're always hungry. You want to compete with anybody.
You're
else,
looking
anybody.
forward to the next
There
one.
you go. There you go.
Okay.
You challenge yourself by
Right.
wanting to compete all the time.
Right. So you basically work your way up.
That's all. That's all. You got.
Right.
That's how it is in boxing.
Yeah.
Even here in the U.S., you come in a gym, everybody's there, but it's you. It's always on you
Right.
to
Right.
challenge yourself
right,
to go to
yeah.
the next level. Yeah.
Right. So you started doing like more amateurs, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I
then-
started with amateurs before I
Mhm.
could turn pro.
Right.
Yeah, but in my country, I had to represent my country in several championships like East and Central Africa, All Africa Games, some Olympic qualifiers. I went in there, but I didn't, qualify. But I was just blessed. that
Right.
yeah,
Right. So you just kept going,
I just
representing,
kept going.
and
That's
then.
all, representing my country.
Right.
Before you know, boom, I
So-
landed a big deal.
So what happened? So tell me about that. So you're practicing, and part of us doing these podcasts is really to show people
yeah,
how they can do it. So you're
Yeah.
practicing, you're having fun, you're doing something that you enjoy,
yeah.
and then all of a sudden that moment happens where you decide and you
Yeah.
say, you know what, man, I'm gonna go pro.
Yeah.
So how did you make that decision to
So
go
that
pro?
decision is not an easy decision to make, and
Mhm.
it's not you who makes it, but it naturally comes. It
Right.
comes by the way, but that you challenge other people, and you see that people are no longer on your level.
Mhm.
So you aim of getting other people who they say that they are better than you. And you're
I
like, yeah.
see.
It just come natural. It's like also when you're doing your
Yeah.
b-boy, you challenge everybody and you feel as if everybody is no longer on your level, and you're like, no, we have to challenge other people from other
Right,
countries.
right.
We see how they can perform.
And that's how you get better.
yeah, that's
Okay.
how you. Yeah, that's all.
Okay, so you got to the point where, for me, when you say professional boxer,
Yeah,
it's a different game.
true.
You
It
know,
is.
just like any level of sports, if you're
Yeah.
a professional, that means you're
Yeah.
getting paid to
For that.
do what you're doing.
Yes, sir. Yes,
It's a
sir.
different level. So, and it's a
Mm.
hard level because it's hard to stay professional.
Yeah.
You have to work even harder because everybody wants to be on that level, right?
You're right.
So,
you're right.
so what is it like after you got your first pro fight?
Yeah.
What was that experience like when you were now going pro and you're going into this fight?
Yeah.
How was that experience for your first time?
Yeah, it was such an amazing, experience. But the good thing about it, my first pro fight, it wasn't a harder fight,
Okay.
and it wasn't very competitive.
Oh, I see.
So the amateurs where I came from, they
Mhm.
were more competitive because the amateurs, it's all about points.
Mhm.
And when you come to the professional, it's all about killing.
Right.
Somebody just wants to kill you in the ring.
I see.
So in other words, most of them don't think. They
Okay.
just come to
They
hit
just come.
hard, to
Right.
kill. So when you come to hit
Huh.
hard, it puts you in a position whereby people are gonna land more punches on you. But in
Right.
the amateurs, it's more of fundamental and
I
skills.
see.
So they move a lot. They make it more fun
Right.
than in the professional. So in the
Okay.
professional, you just come to kill. So when you meet those people
Mhm.
who come to kill, when you already have the basics,
Right.
it's easier for you because you already know their instincts even before they react.
Ah, I see. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I actually went to the amateur fights a few weeks back for USA Boxing,
Yeah,
and man,
yeah.
they go hard over there.
Man,
I-
they go hard, and their
What?
skills level is on another level.
Yeah.
Their boxing is more of a skill boxing. They show a lot of skills.
Right.
Yeah, a
right.
lot of like
Mhm.
ability to do other things. But in the
Right.
professional, people come to kill.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
one of the things I noticed, professional versus now, I went to the amateurs, that the amateurs throw a lot more punches.
That's it. They're more competitive than
Right.
the pros.
The
yeah.
pros, you select your punches.
You select and you wait because you need to reserve the energy. You're going
Right.
more rounds, so you
Right.
don't have to throw more punches in a few rounds because
Mhm.
you're gonna be tired at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And you don't
yeah.
want to be tired. Yeah.
Right, and especially when everybody's watching.
There you
and,
go.
Do you? Let me ask you this: in boxing, do people get bonuses if you, let's say that you knock somebody out, or let's say that you win? Do they- you get-
Everything in boxing, as long as it's winning, it puts you on another level. But
Okay.
if you knock somebody out, it puts you more closer
Mhm.
to other great champions because
I see.
they are like, this is a knockout artist.
Oh,
Everyone will
okay.
want to challenge you.
I see. So
Yeah.
basically, your goal is to go in there and knock
and just
somebody
knock
out.
somebody out. Yeah, that's
Right.
that's everybody's goal. But remember, both of you come with the same
The
goal.
same mentality.
Yeah.
That's why I
Yeah.
find it so fascinating and scary in many ways.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's such a different thing. One thing is like you go spar,
Yeah.
right? Your friends, whatever, right? Another thing is when the other guy is practicing just as hard as you are
And both of you are on the same
on
level.
the same
Remember,
level, right?
both of you have the same skills.
right.
Both of you have put in the
The
same
same
time. So you already equivalent. But it just takes that microsecond for somebody to slip, then you take
and then you're
advantage.
done. Yeah. And that's what I've noticed about it is one punch can change the whole thing.
There you go. Yeah.
Right. Wow, man.
Yeah, that's
So
how
it
it
so it's
is.
it's fascinating, right? And I mean, I guess the professional lifestyle,
Yeah,
being a pro boxer, it sounds, man, it's got to feel good, right?
true. It does. It
Because
does.
not a lot of
But it
people.
comes with a lot. It comes with a
Okay.
lot because you have to have discipline.
Yeah.
You have to be dedicated to what you're
Right.
doing. So once you become a professional, you understand that this is where you're gonna get your day-to-day bread.
Mhm.
So when you know that this is where you're gonna get day-to-day bread, where your future is all relying.
Right.
So you have to put in more time.
More
You have
time.
to handle it with care because you don't want to injure
Mhm.
anything. So
Right. Right. And you want to last a long
there
time. You
you
don't want to
go.
have a
A
1 year.
short time, then you're
Yeah,
out.
and then you're out,
Because that's
right?
where your money is gonna come from.
Right.
So
Right.
you gotta stay concentrated. You have to put in time, money, well as rest as well.
Right. And
Yeah.
it's in our world, the breaking world. So now we're finally going into the Olympics
That's what's
as
up,
a
man.
sport.
Wow.
It's a whole other level, right?
Yeah.
Because for a long time, yeah, everybody trains hard like an athlete and
Yeah.
everybody's practicing, but at the same time, when I go to your classes and
Yeah.
I train with you guys,
Yeah.
the training is so intense
Yeah.
that I almost feel like breaking will eventually have to do the same
There you
thing.
go. Cause anything that you want, you
Right.
want to like get gifts or rewards from, you have
Right.
to put in a lot.
And the stamina
Yeah.
has to be there.
It has to be
You
there.
know?
The endurance.
Mhm.
You have to have the perseverance to
Right.
keep on going, no matter
Yeah.
what it is. You just
Right.
have to have a certain kind of different mentality.
Right. So
Change
right
it.
now, your weeks, I mean, it's coming up,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And this is part of like why I wanted to talk to you was
Yeah.
because it's so close, right?
Yeah.
So like the Sula from 3 months ago
Yeah.
to the Sula
Of
right
today.
now.
Yeah.
What is the difference between the two?
Yeah, the difference between the two is that Sula of like 3 months
Mhm.
is a different Sula. It was a relaxed Sula who is not thinking of what's coming. But the Sula of today is more dedicated and focused. He's
Mhm.
like, oh, I have a goal that I have to achieve. So
Mhm.
the mindset only changes. You're like, oh, I have something that I have to put down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's basically now it's like a countdown,
There you go.
and you're preparing
You
for that
Every
countdown.
countdown to make
Mhm.
sure that you meet it at a certain time.
Right. And
Yeah.
what about the training?
The training also, like, we the fighters, especially the last week, we
Mhm.
tend to slow down the training.
Okay.
Yeah, because this fight, they gave it to me for like one month and 2 weeks back. So I
Right.
had enough time
Yeah.
to prepare. I don't have any excuse.
Right.
So the first 4 weeks, they have to be very intense and hard.
right.
You have to
right.
go as hard as you can. So that the next 1 to 2 weeks, you have to relax,
Okay.
get ready for what's coming.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so, one of the cool things, a few months, I think now about a year ago,
Yeah.
you got to do the undercard for the Mike Tyson
Yes,
fight,
sir.
and now Roy Jones, Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
First of all, I mean, congratulations.
Thank
I
you,
feel
thank
like
you. I
that's such
appreciate
a
that.
huge accomplishment.
Very, very. That's the big man in boxing. Mike
Right.
Tyson.
Yeah.
He's the big man in boxing.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So how was that experience like? I mean,
Wow,
now
that
you're
was, that
you're-
was another level.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to to even explain.
explain it.
Because the feeling that you get when you with Mike, when you with Roy Jones, is totally a different.
Yeah.
You like
Legends.
you with the top guys of boxing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
amazing.
it gives you a different vibe. It gives it gives you the nerves to say that I can also do it.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's inspiring.
It
right.
inspires you and it challenges you that if
Yeah.
they did it, then why not? me?
And you're so close.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's interesting because in many ways, I mean, I watched it on pay-per-view,
Yeah.
and when I saw you there, on my eyes, I'm like, look where he's at.
I come from where you come from. We always together.
Yeah.
And then you're seeing me like, man,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
my
right,
boy. So
right.
it gives you a different kind
Well,
of
for
feeling.
me, it was inspiring.
Yeah,
right?
thank you. I
And
appreciate
I'm assuming like even for your family, for the
Yeah.
people that
They
saw
were
you.
all inspired. Yeah, they
Right.
were like, yeah, our boy is representing. Yeah.
I mean, you're a long way from
Yeah, from
that
home.
kid.
Yeah.
Think about it real quick. Remember you were telling me that when you were a kid, you were punching the bag, going to this rec center,
Yeah,
just
to play.
having fun.
There you go.
And then look where you are.
Yeah,
You're
such
on
a
the
long way.
same card as Mike Tyson and Roy Jones.
Yeah.
This is the top. I mean, so many people saw it.
Yes,
It
sir.
was a big hit.
Yeah,
you
it
know.
was. It was. And it was a big hit also for my career. So it gave me a reputation. Because in my entire country, we've had great legends who have gotten
Mhm.
WBCs, but we have never gotten anybody to be on the Mike Tyson show.
Oh, what?
So it was such a big moment for me.
So you were the
Yeah,
first one.
I was the first to be on the Mike Tyson
Okay, so
show.
it's historic
Yeah,
in
it
a
is.
way, right?
Yeah, it is.
Man, and that's what it's all about. So, this podcast is called path breaking, because
Yeah.
what it really means is people like yourself, like myself. My father worked in construction,
Yeah.
but I decided that that's not what I wanted to do.
Yes, sir.
And I had to break that and then create my
To
own
create your
path.
own
The
path.
same way that, you're creating your path and you're inspiring people all around the world.
Yes, sir.
So it's amazing how a person who puts their mind into a goal,
Yeah, can
who
achieve it at any time.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's all about mindset and the people
mhm,
you are around.
right,
Yeah,
right.
once you put your mind on something, I believe anybody can be anything
Mhm.
as long as you put your mind on that and
Right.
you keep, working towards that
Yeah,
goal.
and what about now that obviously you're starting to slow down the training, you're getting
Yeah.
closer, and you have the mindset already.
Yes, sir.
You've already put the work in.
Yeah.
Now it's more about final, I would say, like final touches,
Sharpness.
adjustments, right?
Exactly. That's
Just to go there and maximize yourself
Yes,
to the
sir.
full potential.
Yes, sir.
As far as the training, what goes from what I've experienced, which is go to class,
Yeah.
work out with you guys. To me, it's challenging.
Yes,
But
sir.
what about your training? What is that like? Is it 6 hours a day? Like, what is it like? What's a
No,
typical
no,
day?
no. On a daily basis, I
Mhm.
put in like 2 hours in a gym.
Okay.
Then early morning, someday, like 2 days a week, I have to go for a long run, like
Mhm.
8 miles.
Okay.
Yeah, that's on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I have to do like long runs
Right.
to keep my conditioning on a higher level.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what you need. You need your
Mm-hmm.
conditioning to be on top so that you can last for longer rounds.
Yeah, because the last thing you want is that to be the defining factor.
Exactly.
Like,
That-
I just didn't work out enough.
Yeah,
I didn't
you don't want
train.
that excuse.
Right.
It shows you as if you're not on that level that you're trying to compete on.
Right, and I see
Yeah.
that a lot. Sometimes guys, are boxing and
Yeah.
they get tired after a few rounds.
Yeah, it means they didn't work on their conditioning.
Right, and they're fighting on on
On
TV,
top levels,
and you're like,
exactly.
and you're watching it, and you're
Yeah.
like, what are these guys? What are they doing? They're just not.
Yeah.
They're not preparing. They're not taking it
Yeah,
seriously.
some
you think?
people just come in for the money.
Right.
Some people come in for the league. So we have two different types of things.
Mhm.
There are people who come in for the money,
Okay.
and there are people who come in for for a legacy,
For the glory.
Yeah. for the glory of the game,
Okay,
and to
right.
keep their names going for a longer time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So I come in this game like to keep a legacy,
Mhm.
to show people that everybody can do it.
Everybody can
Yeah,
do
I don't
it.
look at the money.
Right.
I look at the name. Where am I gonna be the next day? Yeah.
And that's also part of the inspiring story of like you as a professional boxer, as a coach, as a mentor,
Yeah.
is the fact that you approach it like that. I
Really.
think that way too, right? I think
Yeah.
about I have this saying that I always say that is lifestyle over money,
True.
right? You live the lifestyle. I
Yeah.
live the lifestyle. You live the lifestyle
That's
of a
all that
boxer.
matters. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you're happy with what you're
With
doing.
what you're doing. As
It's
long as you're
rewarding.
happy with like helping yourself, then you'll be happy with helping somebody else.
Right.
But
right.
if you're concerned about the money, everybody who comes your way, you'll be like, you gotta pay for it.
yeah,
Then that won't
yeah,
make
it
sense.
won't
You
make
won't be
sense.
loving it. You'll only
Right.
be there for the money.
Right, and
Yeah.
that's always it can, like, it's very close-minded in a way. when
Yeah, it
you're just
limits you.
thinking about
It
right.
limits you. Because if you're there for the money, it limits you. Because money never ends.
Right,
You always
right.
be wanting
You always
money.
want
Oh,
more and
yeah.
more and more. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Right. Now that again, obviously I've known you for a while.
Yeah.
How was it? Your family, like, do you have brothers and sisters, or
Yeah, I
how?
have brothers and sisters. Yeah, I have cousins, nephews. I have a lot of
Nobody
people.
boxes though.
Nobody does boxing.
Really?
Yeah, they just watch it.
Wow. So they
Yeah.
must be like super proud of you,
They
man.
are. They are. Because
Yeah.
they didn't know that I would go on the higher level.
Yeah, I mean, you're
Yeah.
getting to. I mean, you're to me. Again, watching you,
Yeah.
it's very high level, man, and I'm
Appreciate that.
inspired. One of the things I noticed.
Yeah.
So I'm a fan of boxing.
Yeah.
Even before I met you, I grew up, my parents watching every Mike Tyson fight, every
Yeah.
fight,
Yeah.
Julio Cesar Chavez.
Yeah.
I grew up with this, right? And one of the things that I look at when I watch boxers
Yeah.
is I noticed one thing, style.
Yeah.
You gotta have a
style.
style.
Yeah, because styles make fights.
Styles make fights, and
Yes,
you know what's
sir.
interesting in breaking?
Yeah.
Style is on top.
Oh, that's
You
good.
gotta
Then-
have the
then
style.
We're similar.
Right.
boxing. There
I
you
mean,
go.
but it's like that in everything. I think
Yeah.
people with style,
Yeah.
with a unique style,
Yeah.
always kind of go to another level
True.
because they're able to do things that other people can't.
Can do.
They keep a close box where these people are thinking outside the box. They're
Yeah.
creative with their style.
Yeah.
So I watch you sparring, and I'm thinking when the way I see it, everything is straight.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when I watch you,
yeah.
it's like every
From
angle.
angles. Yeah.
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 So I find that, man, I'm like, man, this is amazing to see somebody move like that, and then also the way you move avoiding punches.
Yeah, the
That
right
stuff,
maneuver.
you have to be smart when you're
You
when
have
you're
to.
boxing.
You have to think. Because, you know, when you're in the ring, it goes out of being boxing and it becomes chess. It's a mind game. It becomes a mind game.
Mm-hmm.
Who is more creative than the other?
Right.
So the more you create, the more you set traps, the more you're going to be open-minded. So the more
Right.
new ideas are going to come to you and you're going to be able to outcompete your opponent.
So when you're in the fight and you're fighting a person, they're real close to you.
Yeah,
The first round, you're kind of sizing him up, maybe
Yeah.
a couple of rounds.
yeah.
After that, you're
Mm.
in the fight. Do you start getting comfortable in there?
Yeah,
Or
you
like,
start getting comfortable, but you can get comfortable when you know that the person in front of you, like in terms of thinking, you're
Mhm.
already ahead of him.
so you can tell, right?
Yeah,
Like
you can tell the first 2 rounds, you can tell that my mind is already ahead of him.
Okay, can they tell?
They can also tell. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah,
So that
it's
must,
very easy
that's
to
gotta
tell.
be tough on them, right?
Yeah,
when
yeah.
they're like, oh
Yeah,
man.
when they tell, even they feel like quitting right there. But still, because they have the other boxing
have to keep
mentality,
going.
they just keep going.
Wow, man. So
Yeah.
that's amazing, and
Yeah.
and I could tell, like,
Yeah.
it's one thing watching boxing. It's another thing getting in there, putting your life on the
On
line,
the line, yeah.
and then having somebody else who's going to, who's trying to knock you out.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, you get to a point where even though you're in danger,
Mhm.
you also can be comfortable and be thinking
There you go.
and be aware of your
Yeah.
surroundings.
You find the joy of it by, competing with somebody. So
Yeah.
this is what I said by saying that you find the joy in it. You see the beauty of the game.
Mhm.
Yeah. There are moments whereby even a punch lands on you and
Mhm.
it hurts, but you just enjoy it because it got you in a position where you knew you had
Ah.
positioned yourself in the wrong position.
Right.
And you
right.
knew that if a punch comes from this angle, it has to get me. And when it gets
Ah.
you, you just laugh within you like, yeah,
Like you got
I'm
me.
done. There you
got
go,
me.
yeah.
I would think that if somebody goes into a fight
Yeah.
and they're not into the fight,
Yeah.
that they're gonna get tired. They're gonna
Mhm.
feel everything.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if you're into it, like
Yeah.
playing a game,
Yeah.
is it when you get hit? I know
Yeah.
it hurts, but you
Yeah.
just you
just
enjoy it.
enjoy it. Yeah, that's it. But that's more. That's the goes back to the other point I told you. It's more of a mindset thing.
Mhm.
You just have to love it, make it a game.
And so now that you continue on fighting, I know you have a lot of goals.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that you're going to keep going until you
For
can't
sure,
go
for
anymore.
Sure. Yes, sir.
At what age does usually do boxers starts saying I want to take it easy now? At what point do people start kind of regressing or start like?
I think people start taking it easy when they get in their 40s.
Okay.
Yeah, when they get
right.
in their 40s.
So like me then.
Yeah, they're like, man, I gotta take
Yeah.
it easy. But it depends on the time you started boxing. There are people who started boxing late years when they were 20.
Okay.
So they can go until like 50 something,
Ah,
and
I
they're like,
see.
no, this is enough for me.
I see. So
Yeah.
it really comes down to
But
your
for
body.
us who started when we were like 6 years old,
right.
40, we like,
6?
no. Yeah, you like,
That's when. So you were 6 years
yeah,
old.
I was a young kid going in the
What?
gym. I was playing in the gym. Yeah.
Really, I mean, if you think about it, your whole life you've been
I've been
a boxer.
boxing. This is what I've been doing.
So
now.
you're 100% boxer lifestyle.
That's it.
It's amazing. Again, just talking about other people at a high level in their sport or their
Yeah.
field. A lot of them started when they were young.
Yeah.
You know, and it's rare that you get a Bernard Hopkins. It's
Yeah.
rare you get somebody who starts later on.
Yeah.
It's still possible.
Yeah.
So for the people who are watching, anybody can do it.
True.
You just gotta be willing to put the work in
Yes,
and
sir.
put and sacrifice, right? Which is to be
Sir.
disciplined and focused.
It takes a lot.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
work, man. And
Yeah.
I'm assuming that it's gotta be tough, just on everybody around you too,
It is.
because they have
it
to
is.
support you. They
And
know
they
you're
have to also-
focused.
And they all have to be dedicated to the goal that you're dedicated to.
Mhm.
Otherwise, if they backslide, then they will be dragging you behind.
They're gonna drag you
Instead,
behind.
you all want
Yeah.
to go up on the same level.
Man, so you came here for boxing. It seems like you're going from different places to fight,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So what was it about coming to the United States? Did you have a fight or something, or did
Yeah,
you?
coming here, I had a fight. So I had, promoters and the manager who put power together to
Mhm.
see that they get me from Europe to come here. Yeah, so
Okay,
they
so-
send me the paperwork and everything. Then I had to fill it out, apply my visa, get it, then boom.
And I know, you're a coach too, right? So
yeah,
obviously training as a professional, but also taking that time because
Yeah,
you're putting
to support
energy.
others.
Like you put the energy. Like literally, I'm not gonna lie to you right now.
yeah.
I've been having so much fun, man.
Yes, sir. I
and
appreciate
and
that.
I love the coaching is learning to punch is one thing,
Yeah.
but being motivated and teaching motivation
Yes,
is
sir.
another thing,
You're right.
right? Because
you're right.
even when I'm not there, I'm
Yeah,
still training.
You feel you there. I know.
I'm running.
Yeah,
I'm
the mind
training.
stays in there.
Yeah.
You see punches, how you hit them, how you maneuver. You
Right.
keep remembering those moves that you didn't make.
Being a coach is
Yeah.
a gift as
True.
well.
True, it
Because
is.
not everybody can do it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and a lot of people can teach how to
But they
punch,
can't
but
bo-
they cannot coach
You're right.
the person to become better,
Better
to
and
keep
better.
going, to keep on evolving to the next level.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
also takes a different mindset and the way
Mhm.
you act towards others.
So this fight is coming up. Is in Washington D.C., your
Yes, sir.
hometown.
Yes, sir.
It's gonna be packed. I
Very
know I'm gonna
packed.
be
Yeah,
there.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I'm
Thank you.
assuming that a lot of people from the the gym are
Gym.
gonna be there.
Yeah, they're gonna be there.
And is it going to air on TV?
Yeah, it will be on millions.co. There is an app called Millions. It's going to air the fight, so they're gonna stream it all over.
Wow. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be a pretty big deal.
Yes, sir.
Right. And then so again, being that part of me doing these types of interviews
Yes, sir.
is because I want to learn,
I feel you.
and I love
Yeah.
to learn. And the best way to learn is to ask a person who's living that lifestyle of the subject,
Yes,
right? It
sir.
could be anything.
Yes, sir.
Could be technology, could be dancing, could be boxing, could be
Yeah.
anything.
Yes, sir.
But a person who's living that lifestyle is the one that can teach it the best,
True.
because you're an expert.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what it takes to the feeling of before a fight.
Yes,
You know
sir.
what it's like to be walking into the ring.
Yes, sir.
Like that feeling's got to be intense, right?
It is.
When they call your name out
Yeah.
and then it's
You're
time.
like, it's time to go do it.
Well, how do you feel? Do you get when they call your name out
Yeah.
and then you're walking out? What's the feeling that goes on and you like? Are you
Yeah, the
just
feeling that goes on is the first thing that I explained to you. The more you stay in the game, the more you mature. And
Mhm.
you learn it's time to go and perform.
Wow,
Yeah.
man?
You
So
feel as if you're going to do a performance. Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
So you're a star. I'm going out there.
Let me go there, entertain the crowd, then I get up.
What? That's amazing, man. And
Yeah.
just thinking about that idea of somebody walking out
Yeah.
to fight,
No,
because fighting,
it's
you
totally
can get
different.
knocked out.
I know.
You can go out and
Not
dance.
even knocked out. You can get
You
killed.
you can get killed, right?
Yeah,
So
in the ring.
you're going out, to
Yeah.
to dance against somebody. You could get hurt too,
Yeah.
and it could be dangerous. But
Yeah.
but you're going out there now to fight somebody in
Yeah.
front of people for entertainment,
Yes, sir.
with an audience,
Yes, sir.
with music.
Mm-hmm.
All these distractions, and the
I
only
know.
thing that you can think of is the person that's in
Who
front
is
of
in
you.
front of you? Yeah.
Do you know this person already, or?
Yeah, I've gotten his name, so I've seen a few videos about him, and he has also done the same thing about me. So that's
Mhm.
what we do.
So you study
Yeah.
each other.
You try to study each other, depending on each and others, the way they throw punches. You see the weakness and you see the achievements. So you understand that he's good when he does this and this, and he's bad when he does this. So once you understand each other, then you're already there.
And you almost have to do that, right? Because
Yes, some people do it, some don't do it,
Oh.
because they are boxers who train to beat each and everybody, to fight each and
I see.
everybody who comes.
right.
So they don't concentrate on somebody's, single style, because
Okay.
you might change the style.
right.
And remember, in boxing, it's not that somebody specifically fights the same way.
Mhm.
It depends on the way the opponent approaches you.
I see.
Yeah.
Right. And they could also trick you.
Exactly. They can trick you with the video, then you come concentrating with the video. then
Oh
they
man, see that's
so,
another, and
yeah.
nowadays it's a whole other ball game, because now you're now with social media,
Yeah.
it's so easy for you to put out a video
There
of
you go.
yourself training and
Training.
doing something,
Yeah.
and then that person watches
Can
it, and then
follow
you
that.
show up that day, and I was like, I'm not doing that at all.
Yeah.
It seems like there's more to it than just what most people think of as just boxing and throwing punches.
Yeah,
I
it's
thought
more
so
than
too.
that.
I
Yeah.
thought when I started like taking classes and doing that,
Yeah.
I thought that I was like, I know how to fight, man.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did taekwondo. I've been dancing. I know what I'm doing. I know what's up.
Yeah.
And then I realized that I didn't know anything at
It's
all.
different.
And,
Yeah.
and it's a different skill,
Yeah.
and it's even the punches are thrown differently.
Differently. Yeah.
So it's just in the way you shift, the way you use your body weight to get speed and all that.
Yeah.
I just had no idea about it, and I think most people
Yeah.
might look at it like that.
That's how they see it.
Yeah.
That's why you find most people playing boxing. They're like,
yeah.
"No, I can do this." People get there, comfortable in their seats, and they do boxing in their chairs, and they're like, "Why doesn't he get
Yeah.
him with a hook?"
Yeah.
It's easy. Pick about it or
Yeah.
to spectate. But once you get in there,
Yeah.
you understand.
And then
that it's a
sometimes I'll watch and I'll see a guy get hit real good,
different-
and then that person that hits him doesn't follow up.
yeah.
Why do they do that? Why is it if I got you already
Yeah.
and you're hurt,
Yeah.
and I know you're I could maybe knock you down,
Yeah.
why don't I keep going?
That's a very good question, because sometimes I also, when I hit somebody and I see him backing up, I don't get the nerve to just come in and finish, because some people can trick you. You hit him, he acts as if he's going backwards. You think that he's done, you come,
And then he
then he
comes
gets
back.
you with a shot. then you're done.
Oh man, see
We have seen that. You saw it on the
I've seen
Tyson
I've
Wilder
seen it.
fight.
Yeah.
So
So
they
it's
went down and up, down and up.
right,
It's the same thing.
and that's part of what you were saying about playing that game.
Yeah, you need that game.
So literally, it's like people could be acting up there.
People dramatize in the ring.
Wow, man.
Yeah, there are moments whereby you see that you're hitting the opponent and you need to take time. You hit him with 2 punches, then you grab him. That's all. That's all already dramatizing.
Yeah.
Because you got him with 2 punches.
Right.
Then you hold him. You're passing time. Boom. Then they ring the bell. You're like, yeah, the round has been taken like that.
It's also good to see like that you guys can do that.
Yeah.
Right. Because if you put me in there and they were like, hey, you're gonna fight somebody, I'm not gonna sleep for like a month.
True.
I'm gonna be like, oh man, I'm gonna be like scared. I'm gonna be like overtraining and overdoing everything, And it's but once, like you said, you get that experience and it's like balanced and everything is leveled up, So is there a game plan for this fight, or are you just going in there?
There have to be a game plan. All right, every game, no matter whom you're facing, no matter how hard the opponent is, no matter how soft or how you see him, you have to have a game plan.
Right.
You have to.
If you don't, it's hard. Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't, you're done.
And you have to. I mean, when you look at it as a performance, when you look at it as a game, if you're not, you don't have a game plan,
it means you're not prepared.
Yeah.
So how can you go to a fight when you don't have a game plan?
Yeah. Right. And like we said, some people do that, right? But it's rare. So, the lifestyle, man, it's amazing, right? And I think, hopefully people are inspired to hear stories, man, of people. Like even like me, right? I come from nothing, man. We didn't have much growing up.
Yes, sir.
Literally where I come from, my ranch, we didn't have paved roads. It was all dirt, adobe homes, people riding horses. We didn't have cars like that. No phones.
Wow.
And all this. But you come to the United States,
you see everything.
You see everything, and and you can get it.
True.
But you got to work. You got to apply yourself, right?
Yeah.
What are some of your goals that you have in the future, man? When you start, you got this fight. Obviously, you're gonna handle this one, but long term, like, what do you want to do?
Long term, once I'm done with this boxing, still I'll stay in the game because I'm a coach, I'm a mentor, so I still have to build young bloods to come and represent. So this is gonna be my lifestyle until I'm done.
And you're lucky. Because you got it, by accident.
Then it happens to be a career. Then it's a lifestyle.
And that's the best way to be. When you find something like that natural. So you're blessed. And a lot of people, they spend their whole life looking for that one thing. Like you're a professional boxer. And I'm older now, but I've been working for myself for 12 years.
Yes, sir.
And I do what I love for a living. I have a school and we teach kids to dance, but the fact is that in the United States, anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
You
as
just
long
gotta
as you
work.
put your mind to it and work towards it, you achieve it.
It
might take time, but still it will happen.
Right. And it's also hopefully, like I said, people, especially as times change, as society begins to change with more, everyone has access to more information now.
True.
So hopefully people can find their whatever it is, their love, their passion, right? So turning your passion into a career is really the ultimate goal.
Yes, sir.
And I think that nowadays more people are doing that.
Yep.
Right. You see,
it's gonna be the way to go.
And more people are doing that. In the old school ways of like, go to school, get a job, get married.
It's no longer followed. Though it's a good thing, but the pattern is changing.
It's changing, right? It's like nowadays people do that. There's a lot of people that do that, but then they also can go different ways.
And still they can achieve their goals.
And then with technology and with everything evolving forward, it's more. There's more opportunities for you to create. Like, look at what we're doing right now. We're able to air everything out. And it's so much easier to put information out and do the things that you've wanted to do. That maybe at that time they just wasn't accessible. Now it's starting to open up, So boxing is a business.
It is.
Right? And it's a big business.
It is.
And they just had the Tyson Fury fight last week, right? And it was crazy.
It was such a great fight.
Man,
great.
I got to see it and it was just amazing, man. To me, I watched a lot of heavyweight fights. The back in the days, Lennox, Lewis, all back in the days, the 90s growing up, right? But this fight,
Man,
to me,
it was a fight.
I was like, that was some
It
amazing, like
was.
chills,
It
like,
was.
oh man,
Yeah. They brought everything they had on the
yeah,
line.
and
On the line.
and it was like back and
Yeah,
forth,
back
and
and
there was
forth. You couldn't tell
drama.
who
It
is
was
taking
like,
it, and you're
yeah,
like, damn.
yeah, and those are some big guys right there, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that's like, what, he's 6'9" or something like that.
6'9". Yeah, Tyson Fury 6'9". I think Dante is like 6'2",
Big,
something like
big
that.
guys. One
Big and
punch
tall.
and you're
You're done.
done.
You're done. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think like I was saying, for these guys, they're so big yet they move so
Light.
so
They're
light,
like
man.
lightweight. Yeah.
Bopping and weaving and
Moving
jumping
around.
and moving.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But it was a great fight, and
It was.
I think what I've noticed too with boxing is that it, at least from my perspective, in the 90s it was huge.
Yeah.
In the 80s it was huge.
Yeah.
2000s it kind of went down a little bit.
Yeah.
And then now
2010s it came back. Mayweather Pacquiao era, they tried to bring it up again.
Right.
And now it's booming.
It's booming again,
Yeah,
right? Do you
yeah.
think, I mean, I know that there's people talk about this all the time. They always, and you know what I'm going to say, they always ask the same question about these guys who are like YouTubers who are like putting on prize fights.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a good thing for people?
For entertainment, it's a good thing, very good thing, because people, like the way you say that technology is evolving,
Right.
so people are gonna need other things to entertain them.
Yeah.
So they will need YouTubers, they will need people doing other things to entertain them. So for entertainment, it's good.
Right.
But if you see these other guys, like most of them, like Logan Paul, they have gotten it from entertainment, and now they're going hard. Because right now they're turning into real fighters.
Yeah.
It means the more you get closer to it, the more it changes you. You come in it as if you're there to entertain, but before you know, you're already into the spirit of doing it.
Yeah, and you kind of have to in a way, because you get all, in one thing you're fighting, but you're also getting all that pressure from people.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir.
then if you don't do a fight against a real boxer, people will say,
they'll start, ignoring you.
Yeah, they'll start ignoring you, right? But it seems like it's happening a lot nowadays. Where
to me, when I see them coming into the business of boxing, I love it.
Yeah.
Because people have different things that they love seeing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You and me, we might not like the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But as time goes by, we might end up being on the same goal. As long as, they keep on playing boxing and doing whatever they can do, it's all about for the love of the game.
It is.
They are putting it up in a way that people are following it more and more.
Right.
And that's what we need.
And
need
it's
more,
growing.
Yeah, we need more follow-up.
Right. And another thing, that I also noticed is that back in the days, people used to get in their 40s and start retiring, right? And a lot of the boxers retired, right? And then nowadays they're coming back.
Yeah.
So a lot of the old school boxers, they're making a comeback.
Yeah, and that's very beautiful again.
It
because
is.
they still have a big follow-up.
It is.
Yeah.
And the only thing I would say about that is just to match them according, like, by age.
Yeah, they have to match them according to age and according to weight.
Right.
I think but matching them, in different ages and weight, that would be too dangerous. They have to make them considerate.
Right,
Yeah.
especially the age. I mean, if you're 50 and you're fighting a
one punch can put you
30-year-old,
off.
it's just too much, right? It's got to be even.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Right,
sir.
but another thing you're seeing is crossover people going from like UFC to boxing, from boxing. It's like, again, going back to the idea that people are more flexible now.
Yeah. Because remember, also boxing is part of the mixed martial arts. Because boxing, though we say it's boxing, yes, it's a big game, but it's part of mixed martial arts. Because mixed martial arts, you use hands. So that some people only use hands. So boxing is part of that. So when you see people crossing, they just cross to, challenge other.
To challenge. And also to challenge themselves too, right?
Sure.
Let's see if I can, I'm a good MMA fighter. Let me see what I can do against a boxer.
There you go.
And see what's up. I know that I watched Anderson Silva. He's doing real good over there, man.
In boxing.
And I like him, man. He seems like a really nice guy.
Yeah, and he's a humble guy. You can see a humble boxer, and you can see an arrogant one, but still.
Yeah, he's been already at the top for such a long time in his career that this is almost like he's doing it for fun now.
True.
And it's pretty, I don't know, he seems like a very nice guy and inspiring guy, right?
Yeah.
But so you're seeing a lot of these things changing, and I'm assuming that at some point in time with yourself and your career, I can tell that you're going to keep going, and eventually someday, I want to see you, man. Yeah, I'll be there, to support. I want to see you go as far as possible, because the further you go, the more inspiring, and it's going to be on people, who are out there. As far as the the coaches and the people that you work with,
Yeah.
do you guys? I know that there's other people here from also from Uganda, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Do you guys like, do you know them from back there, or is it something?
Yeah. Some of them I know them back in Uganda.
Right. So the
Yeah.
boxing scene is like the breaking scene,
It is.
where everybody kind of knows each other.
Yeah.
And if you don't know somebody
Yeah.
and they're
Then-
good, then
yeah.
you're not really about it.
True.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you should know people.
You have
right.
to.
Yeah. If not, I mean, you're gonna go. It's like knowing the people in your community almost, right?
That's it. It's like knowing your neighbor. Because the
Yeah.
boxing community is such a big community whereby
Mm-hmm.
you don't need to explain yourself with your boxer. When each and every country you go to when you're a boxer,
Right.
you just go to a gym. You don't
Mhm.
need to explain yourself. Your hands explain yourself who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the game. Once
Yeah.
they see you that you can do it, you're more than welcome.
Wow, man. That's what's
Yeah.
up. And like I said, that's how it is in the world, man. You
Yeah.
appreciate people, you share with people, you build with people.
Yes, sir.
And sky's the limit, man. When
Sure.
people start to build with each other,
Yes, sir.
right? I think that's the key to life, man. Is
That-
people
that's
people
how
need
it's
to do
gonna
that
be.
more.
Yeah, we
sharing
need to be
more.
sharing and helping each other.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
hey, man, listen,
Yeah.
amazing. I know that it was a good conversation. This is the most we've talked,
Yeah, I appreciate that.
right?
Thank you.
So thank you so much
Yeah.
for helping me too, right?
Yes,
Because
sir.
you're helping me put this together.
Yes, sir.
And the again, going back to the very beginning, part of it is to learn from people who pursue their dreams,
Yes, sir.
not give up on life, man, that anything is possible.
Yeah,
And I'm looking forward to watching you fight.
I appreciate you.
I know it's gonna be, the energy's gonna
Yeah.
be there. And it's been a long time since this area had a boxing fight.
Oh, yeah. I remember the last one was when I think
It's a long time ago.
Yeah.
And at least for me, the last time I went to a boxing fight here in the DC area
Yeah.
was like, literally, I'm not kidding, like
Yeah.
2008 or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be my first one after like many years.
Many years in DC. Wow.
Yeah. So this is gonna be yours. Well,
Yeah, we'll
it's
see.
gonna be
We'll
good,
there.
man. But yo, thank you so
I
much for
appreciate you,
being
man.
on, man. I
Thank you, thank you.
appreciate you.
I appreciate
and,
you a lot.
And we'll see what happens on the fight, and we'll see what happens with your future. So
Thank you, bro.
congratulations on all the success.
Thank you, man.
All right, thanks,
All right.
man. Fast breaking.